If you know, then you know, the Fountain of Hope podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Fountain of Hope podcast. And today we have Miranda Johnson.
Hello.
Welcome, Miranda.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you to be here. She is the proud owner of the Embodied Vessel LLC, where she does connective tissue massage and biodynamic craniosacral therapy.
Yes.
Craniosacral therapy. And I've experienced them both. And so I am so glad to have you here. And I needed everyone to know about you and the work that you're doing because I don't hear a lot about it. So first, let's just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
How did you get started? I know you're a massage therapist.
Yeah.
A massage therapist, and so you were doing that, and then from there, how did you work your way into what you do now?
So I've been interested in the holistic realm since I was a kid, dealing with like allergies, food sensitivities, just like all the things that were really small and then they spiraled to bigger issues and
bigger issues within yourself, or
it started to affect my mental emotional health, how I felt about my body, and I just got to a point where I like didn't really feel good, and I was like 14, 15 years old, and I just like started exploring what I could explore and like anything I could do to help me feel better, and yoga was one of those. A vegetarian diet was the other thing. And those two things kind of grounded me into all of my next decisions in my life.
So it's a build upon. First, it started off like, I have these allergies, I have these digestive issues going on.
Yeah.
And how can I heal myself?
Yeah.
Not so, I didn't hear you say, how can I have someone else heal me?
Right.
But how can I heal myself? So you started diving in and looking for these treasures that you have found.
Yeah.
For you, those treasures could look like a vegetarian diet, yoga,
exercising, like, all the basic stuff. And then I ended up getting like kind of too controlling with all of those things. If anyone sat at my lunch table in junior high and high school, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
What would they say? What would it look like?
Oh, I would pull out like a little yogurt, some nuts. Like I was very like going down the eating disorder path mentally.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was like all these things were stemming from trauma that, that word wasn't even big back then.
Yeah.
So I got my first massage when I was probably like 16. And that just awakened me to like, oh, wow, I can feel like this.
You got a massage at 16?
I did. Yeah.
Wow.
I think my mom was with me.
I mean, like, no, I'm just thinking at 16, I wasn't even thinking that way. Like, oh, my body needs a massage.
Yeah.
Now, my daughter, she plays sports, so she like, I need a massage. But,
right.
I wasn't thinking that at 16. I wish I was, but go ahead.
Yeah, it was like an awakening moment. Just having someone nurture your body and touch you in a loving way. It was like, we don't get that often. Even like people that already love each other, sometimes they don't even have that intimacy like that. And I think it's a part of being a human. So
when you got that massage at 16, did that lead you into wanting to be a massage therapist? That
was the start of it. I guess there's a lot more, but that's just like one fragment. But I originally wanted to go to school for naturopathic medicine.
I did too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'm still even considering it.
Wow.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, because nutrition was really big into nutrition and eating and all of that, and then it was yoga teacher training, and I'm still like this today. Like I still have all of these interests. But I was like, massage therapy is something, it's a short amount of training. I can get in the field quickly. Like, I'm already there. I'm in it. I'm doing it.
Okay.
So, to me, it was like, what can I do that I don't have to go to school forever and spend a lot of money?
Right.
Even though I've still spent a lot of money on training, so.
So, you're a yoga instructor?
No. That was one thing I was considering doing.
Okay. I was like, I didn't know that. Yeah, but.
Yeah.
So, you've considered a lot of different things.
Yes.
And now where are you in this journey?
Oof. I am still learning and growing all the time, and I am almost 27, so I'm like entering a new dimension in my body right now, and how I connect with other people, and it's all different. So yeah, right now I'm learning to like take care of myself in a whole new way.
So not the way you did in middle school.
Not that way, no.
Where you're overdoing some stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah, no, I've relaxed since then.
Yeah, you relaxed since then. So tell us what it looks like taking care of your body now.
Today, yeah. Goodness, I think the number one thing is like people that you surround yourself around.
Yeah, that's important.
How I talk to myself. Just doing the really small things, going to bed early. Maybe like giving myself a foot massage before I go to bed. I love taking baths.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I love water. We'll have another podcast about water.
About water, yes, we have to. We have to.
What else? Eating really yummy food, cooking.
Yeah.
Putting my love and my energy into the food that I cook has been really good.
And most people don't know what that looks like when you put your love and energy into it. Just like if you went to a restaurant and you ate a angry pizza, you know, somebody made that pizza, and that energy that they had, they were upset, they were angry, and you don't realize that some of the food that you're eating when you go to different restaurants or go out to eat, the energy that people are putting and having, it impacts you and what you're putting in your system.
Yeah.
And so when you're sitting and you're making something and you're making it out of love and the energy that you put into it, you be like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
It's because of that energy you put in that, right?
Totally.
So you're into cooking now.
Yes. And using it as like a healing art tool, like, because I might start off like, oh, I'm frustrated about whatever's going on, and cooking is like a way to like transforming, alchemizing that energy. So yeah, I guess with body work, connecting it to body work, that's the main thing that I've found for myself and clients is like, you come in one state, maybe they share a little bit about what's going on, or maybe it's like a physical pain, but when you're on the table, it's like a whole new story unfolds.
Yeah. So tell us about your business, the Embodied Vessel.
Yeah.
Discuss that.
Okay.
And how you got started with that and the different services you offer.
Yes, I would love to.
Yeah.
I opened the Embodied Vessel just like 2 or 3 months ago. So it's a new business. I was kind of getting burnt out with regular massage, and I've done Craniosacral Therapy for 3 years. And connective tissue massage. About the same time I learned both of them.
Okay. Could you break each one of them down?
Yes. Yeah. Biodynamic craniosacral therapy is a light touch modality. It's bringing you back to 0 point frequency, holding your body in stillness. So it's I think it's amazing. Sometimes it's uncomfortable for some people if they're new to being still. It's working with the nervous system. I always put my hands up because when I'm doing it, I'm usually holding the sacrum, so I'm naturally just doing that. So if you think about your spinal cord, you have your sacrum, your spinal cord, and your cranium. And then you have all this tissue and bones and everything around it. But really, that's like the core of us, right in there.
Yeah.
And just having those spots held really brings you to a deeper spot in yourself. So it helps to gently release trauma, deeper tension in your nervous system. It could be something simple as you feel really rejuvenated after a session.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. I had the experience, and it was like nothing I had ever experienced before. Just the light touch and that space being held, releasing some of the trauma. And then when I finished at the end, I didn't realize how much energy I was going to have. I was able to get through my day, but in a loving way.
Yeah.
Not in a way that it caused frustration. Things could happen around me, and it was like I didn't even realize that it was happening. It wasn't like I was ignorant to it, but it didn't bother me because I was in a beautiful space. So it left me in a beautiful space all day.
Oh, I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, and to say that I had a graduation party that I was planning the next day and my daughter was graduating, having that done the day before, I thought it was just going to be like, oh, it's just another thing taking up my time.
Yeah.
But no, it helped me. So, yeah.
Yes. And the biodynamic part is important to talk about. So that basically means, like, I'm not manipulating or moving anything. It's literally just letting your body unwind and find more space. So it's changing stuff in your energy field too, because like during that process, like your thoughts are shifting, your emotions are shifting. So it's an inner body experience, but it totally affects your whole life.
Yes.
And it's like can be very potent.
Potent.
Yes.
It's a great word.
Yeah.
It's the small things. Sometimes we're looking for the big things, but it's the small things that hold so much power, and we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
So within your body, within yourself.
Yes, and being present in those moments.
So the connective tissue massage, tell us about that.
So connective tissue massage, very different from craniosacral.
It is.
Craniosacral is the yin. Connective tissue massage is the yang version of my services. So connective tissue is fascia. They're the same thing, just different names.
Yes.
It's a very popular word right now.
Fascia.
So what that is it's a 3D web that is inside of our bodies that's wraps around your muscles, veins, arteries, organs, bones. It holds everything together. It's called the organ of posture. So with connective tissue massage, I am lengthening that and opening it up and hydrating it. So many of the times when you get like a deep tissue massage, it feels really good. You get a lot of blood flow.
Yeah.
You're a little more loose, but then maybe next week you're like, I'm stiff again.
Yes.
That's because your fascia hasn't really gotten released.
So you're dealing with
sticky.
The fascia.
Yeah.
And kind of unsticking it. Where from a massage, it's a temporary sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say it's more connective tissue massage is more long-term results.
So what is the difference between the way you would work from giving a massage versus the connective tissue?
Okay, much different.
Okay.
The first thing, there's no oil used. Second thing, I'm using a low table. I'm only using my body weight and gravity. I might push from the ground. So I'm never, going like that with my muscles.
Right.
I'm not exerting force into you in an unnatural way. I'm exerting force into you from the ground. So it feels very, very good.
It does.
It's like what you would expect like a deep tissue to feel like, but it's more I don't know the word. You have to come and get a session.
you gotta come and get a session, right? I know the words because I had a session.
Yeah. How did it feel for you?
When you were talking about how people would take their elbow or their arm and press down, it wasn't painful at all. But it was. And I do the stretch lab as well. So it wasn't like I felt like I was being stretched. Right. In a, like, let me stretch her legs out, let me stretch. It wasn't that at all. It was more of it was almost like you were using my body and the ground to move what needed to be moved.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
What I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like your body is you're laying there, but your body is doing the work and releasing, and if we allow gravity, to do what it needs to do.
Yes.
I didn't feel any area after I left that was in pain when I left. And it wasn't like, oh, next week I have to go back and do this again and all of that. Now I am going to come back because I need some more fascia released and things like that. And so it's an ongoing process for me to get to where I want to be in life with my body and to do what I want to do with my body. In life, I think your body is important. It's the vessel that helps you move on this planet. And you have to understand that if you are not in a good space, it even helps release trauma.
Totally.
And you don't even realize that you have it. And those are the things that are probably tight in your body and that you haven't released. But it helps release that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's really crazy, like, what I'll feel working in someone's tissues, and, like, the left side will feel different from the right side, and it's totally normal to cry. I've had many people cry during sessions. So, yeah, it's really beautiful. And you can do it at home with the right tools.
Yeah, go ahead. Show us.
So, a lot of times we'll get, like, massage, chiropractic adjustment, like all the things, right? But then, like, what do we do at home?
Yes.
We need some more education there. So this is called the All Ball, Sport Time All Ball. It's one tool out of many. This one I've found works the best with your fascia because it's not too hard. It's not going to disrupt your nervous system. It's not going to, you're not going to tense up whenever you're doing it.
Okay.
So it's all about releasing and opening up. One thing that I'm really passionate about is honoring the feminine aspect of ourselves when it comes to self-care.
Okay.
Because sometimes we get stuck with, like, oh, I have to do this and be forceful or aggressive or accomplish. And you can just take this ball out, put it behind your head, relax, be patient, see what happens. And it's such a simple tool, but it's, like, really helped heal more than just your physical body.
So let me see.
Yeah.
So the ball is not a hard ball at all.
Nope.
And so sometimes when people are thinking about it, they'll get a hard ball to put behind them or to put because they're trying to release some muscle tension. Right,
and it's like you feel a sensation really quickly, and people really want a quick fix when it comes to them being in pain. So they're kind of like fighting fire with fire sometimes. And
that makes sense.
What I want to say to everyone is, like, you can use water, you can use softness, you can be loving to yourself again. Like, we don't have to be so harsh.
And so
with healing.
That makes sense. So when you're talking about the healing, and even this ball being not hard, but releasing whatever you need to release, but in a gentle way. It doesn't have to be, like you said, fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
Because you get more fire, right?
Exactly.
and then you got to come back.
Yeah.
So get more help because you use the wrong tool.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take away that getting massages are a bad thing, because that is a proper tool.
Yes.
But you got to know when to use the tool.
Like, and what tool is best for where you're at. So.
Right.
So with my two services, I would say if someone is emotionally distressed, if they're already feeling pretty, like, tense from an emotional standpoint or a life circumstance, craniosacral might be the best option.
Okay.
If you have chronic pain an injury, if you're just feeling really tight, then connective tissue. But I don't know. I trust every person can read the descriptions and kind of navigate
which one to
Yeah.
use. But that was a great example of which one, where you are in your life. If you wanted to have both, which one do I use first? And so from a mental health standpoint, so you touched on that. If you're in an emotional state or a mental state, which one to use?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Craniosacral Therapy, for that releasing mentally, have you seen anyone that it has helped mentally?
Oh, absolutely.
Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, I would say it's more of a mental emotional shift than
Okay.
physical. It's very spiritual.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think the most common thing people say is I feel lighter. And their eyes get brighter, which is really amazing.
Yes.
And more connected to themselves. I personally will receive intuitive messages when I'm on the table, and it could be something like I need to eat an orange. It could be something simple like that, or something huge. Yeah, every session's so unique, so different. Some people take a really good nap.
Yeah. I refuse to take a nap in mine because I was like, no, I want to experience it all. I want to be aware of what's happening and to be in tune with what I'm releasing. I didn't want to take it as a time to say, let's go to sleep, because it's so comfortable that you can go to sleep. I mean, you can drift off if you chose to.
Totally.
But do you have any examples of someone that has said, okay, besides me, that it has helped them from a mental health standpoint? Could you tell us about that?
Honestly, I don't think of one particular situation. I will say some people kind of leave and they're like, I don't really know what happened. They're still kind of in a healing cocoon.
Yes. That's pretty.
Yeah, so sometimes people are maybe a little vulnerable when they're done with their session. Some people share a lot and some people don't.
Okay.
But it's this feeling of when you're with someone's body in that space, there's a lot of unspoken things that are going on and that we don't always have the words for it, because I think that's one of the cool things about the work is we are multidimensional.
Yeah.
We don't have control over a lot of things in our life, and it's learning how to let life work through you and being open to life again. So from connecting that to a mental health thing, I think it's allowing trust and surrender. So maybe your mind doesn't have to be so involved.
Trust and surrender. From a therapeutic standpoint, and from what I do as a mental health therapist, trust and surrender, those are kind of hard things for people to do. And so when you're laying there, you don't actually have to say anything, which is good, because then you can just trust and surrender.
Yeah.
Trust the process. Just surrender. So go in with this, I don't have to say anything. I could just be there.
Yeah. Feel.
And feel.
Feel.
And trust it. But do you find that people have a hard time even with that, even when they don't have to say anything? What do you think?
Absolutely.
How do you help them navigate through that, work through that piece?
Sometimes letting people be uncomfortable is the medicine. But it usually passes, and sometimes it's just 10 minutes in the beginning. People are just kind of still unwinding. But I think that's an important part, because it's whatever you're feeling then, you've already been feeling.
Right.
We're just making you pause So you understand, like, hey, you've been feeling this, like, for a long time. Do you want to still feel it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to process it and move on?
Right.
That's really how it is, I think.
Do you process with them afterwards? Do
Yeah.
you let them know what you have picked up, what you are sensing?
Yeah, so I think it's most important for them to speak first, and if they want to, share their experience or any sensations that they felt. Because to me, it's more important about what they experienced than what I've picked up, because I don't want there to be, like, any interference. So, yeah, after they have shared, then I might say, or I might have shared what I picked up. Sometimes I'll get visuals or images of things that may relate, or they may not. But yeah, sometimes messages come through and they're like, oh wow, that was really clarifying, and
that resonated with them. Yeah,
and it's like sometimes those little things just like can spark a person, and it creates a whole new perspective. But yeah, it's hard. Every session is so different, and it's very uniquely curated to that session.
Yeah.
And then I forget about it.
Then you forget about it, and then you move on to the next one, because we have to. Yeah. And what we do, you and I, even though they're different, we have to move on, because we have to hold space for the next person that's coming. So we can't hold it, and we can't take it on. And when you are doing the massages, right, or the connective tissue, or the craniosacral therapy, when you're doing that, how do you keep yourself from not taking on other people's stuff?
That's a great question.
Yeah, their feelings, their energy, their vibration. Yeah.
So that's something I'm learning all the time still. I've kind of come to the conclusion, like, there is no way to completely separate yourself from someone, and that we are all innately connected.
We are.
And I had a lot of fear around my work at one point, because I would be going to get clearings or sessions from whoever, and they're like, girl, you need to ground yourself, and, you know, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, I need to ground myself. I'm
what
scared.
Is that?
Like, what's going to happen if I don't? And, yeah, I've learned to not be afraid. Yes. Like, people are people, and everyone has different energies. We all carry light and dark.
Yeah.
However, with both of these modalities, it's actually pretty easy, because connective tissue, I'm connected to the ground the whole time. I feel supported.
Right.
I feel relaxed in my body, and that transfers over to the client.
Yes.
So the alchemy is happening. I trust the process that's going on, which is not always easy for both of us.
Yes, yes.
When there's uncomfortableness arising.
So you have to be comfortable in the space that you're in first in order to help support someone else in the space that they're in.
Totally. And it makes me very accountable to my own health.
Yeah.
So, especially having my own practice, it's like I feel everything a little bit more deeply now.
It's your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
you got to take care of it.
If I'm not feeling good, then we're not going anywhere.
Do you ever get into that space where you're not feeling good? And you say, how do you shake that off? Do you still...
That's a good question, Tracy.
Thank you. That's why I'm sitting on this side. Do you shake it off, or do you say... Because I know, like, with therapy, I have a schedule.
Yeah.
And I have people from 9 to 5 that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do I, in that space... say, oh, wait, I'm not doing good today. It's a canceled day.
Right.
Mental health.
Yeah.
And so you have to do something in order to ground yourself, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Okay. Knowing my schedule, having boundaries. If I don't want to work a certain day or whatever, then I'm not going to. Honoring my menstrual cycle has been huge.
Yes.
Kind of learning to align with that more has been really powerful.
That's good.
But if I, like, don't feel good, I know it'll pass. Like, this morning, I woke up really, really tired, like, unusually tired. And I was like, oh man, we do a podcast today.
Oh shoot!
Yeah,
I can't cancel.
Yeah. But I'm like, what? I'm like, as soon as I get there, I'm gonna be fine. Like, it's like trusting and surrendering.
Yes.
Again and again, every day.
Yeah. It's so funny because you talked about this energy and how we're all connected energy, and we are, right? Mm-hmm. I grew up thinking I'm my own person. I'm not, I'm not connected to anybody else, you know. And then when I started learning about energy and the transference of energy and what that is, and I woke up this morning like how you say you woke up like, oh, I got to do the podcast. I don't want to do it. Girl, I woke up the same way. Really? Like, I don't want to do this podcast today. And then I was like, oh. So we must have been connected. Our energy
I was going to call you this morning. I'm like, she didn't text me back. She must be doing something. I'm like, she better be ready for me.
Because you're exerting this energy coming out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we got on the same page. And look at us. Having a ball, you know,
having fun,
just talking about what we do,
and
how it could be beneficial and helpful to others.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give the audience?
Oh, yeah. Anything. There's so much out there.
It is.
Okay. What I would want to share is, it's okay to relax. It's okay to be in stillness. It's okay to feel whatever arises. And to let love in whatever form that means to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great advice. And not only that, come and see you. And allow that love and that light and that stillness, because you have a space to hold, to offer them where they can be still.
Yes.
And feel.
Right.
Right. And so, where are you located?
I am located, I don't know my address yet. Okay, I'm inside of the Spine Group. It's a chiropractor's office off of Virginia Beach Boulevard. But I'm upstairs in the Spine Group, and you can see me there.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I appreciate you being here, and I enjoyed it. I will be signing up for another session. And so, again, thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
From inside, no doubt. If you know, then you know, the Fountain of Hope podcast.